Get Gutsy, episode number 89 with Justin Krane on Money Loves Clarity. Welcome to Get Gutsy. I'm your host, Jenny Fennig, and I am so excited to be on this journey with you. A cutting-edge show blending business and spirituality, Get Gutsy serves up a potent blend of stories, lessons, and tips to help you make a massive impact in the world through your soul's work and your inspired life. No more going it alone, no more excuses. The world needs more brave women saying yes to leadership. Are you with me? Good. Let's get gutsy now. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Jenny here. I am so excited to be with you today. And, yes, the vast majority of our guests here on Get Gutsy have been women, but I have been on a mission to find a few good men as well. And we've been doing so. We've had some really awesome guys coming on and sharing their expertise and their energy with you. And I'm proud to say that we have today another awesome man. His name is Justin Krane. Let me tell you about him, and then we're going to dive right into the conversation. Justin Krane is a money strategist for business owners. His mission is to help business owners understand the money side of their business. This is absolutely crucial. He teaches entrepreneurs like you and me how to be strategic with their business money so they can grow. He isn't about cutting back and living a frugal life. He's all about getting the shoes, the sushi, and living the best life today while saving for the future. He's also a certified financial planner. Justin has been featured on CBS, Fox Business News, and MSNBC. And Justin, I am super happy to welcome you to Get Gutsy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I got major gutsy putting myself out there, coming to you, right? Like a few guys, a few of the token guys. But I've listened to your podcast. I think it's great. And I think what you're doing is really cool, mixing business with spirituality. So I'm really happy to be here.
Good. Well, yeah, and you did. And I love that you reached out to me and wanted to kind of understand how we could support each other. And the cool thing about this show is that when I feel like someone has a powerful message that would benefit our audience, I say, well, you know what? Why don't I just have you on the show and we'll get the ball rolling that way, and we'll see how things move from there. So, Justin, one of my favorite pieces of the show is to really get a better understanding of my guest's road. So take us back. Like, did you always have an interest in money? How did this get started for you?
I was the kid that collected like 10,000 baseball cards and bought them for like $1 and sold them for $2, one of those deals. Uh-huh. And then I got really into like chewing all the gum that came in the baseball card packs and, had 85 cavities and go through all that. But I was always interested in investing, in being strategic with money, and kind of building a net worth, so to speak. And from there, I got into being a financial advisor out of college and worked for a big Wall Street firm. And then from there, I just eventually pulled a Jerry Maguire and bailed and started my own firm.
I love that reference to Jerry Maguire. What was it? Show me the money.
Show me the money.
That was,
right.
What's his name? Cuba Gooding Jr. was like, show me that. Yep. Jerry. That was a good movie. So you pulled out. Now, what was your original motivation to move into entrepreneurship from that corporate world?
Well, I think when it comes to financial advice, the public doesn't understand how they can get the advice and in what standard it's delivered in. And then you've got the big brokerage firms dictating what you can and can't say and limiting you on what you can and can't recommend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I am done. I'm starting my own firm. I don't want anyone telling me what to do. And on top of that, I think, when you hear financial planning, you hear mutual funds, IRAs, 401ks, budgeting, and all that. But I think what our industry is moving towards is more towards a financial life planning model. And that's where you put money in the context of someone's life. And that, in my mind, is what true financial planning is about.
Wow. So tell us more about that, about the life planning model, financial life planning model, and how that impacts those of us who have decided to walk this entrepreneurial journey, which, as you and I know, isn't always the, quote, safest route. There's ups and downs. And how do you kind of rectify the roller coaster that we can sometimes find ourselves on with wanting to make sound financial decisions as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think it has to deal with your life and your values and what's most important to you. And I think our industry is all about save so you can live the life that you want to when you're 82. And I just am not into that. That's why I'm all about, getting the shoes, doing sushi, going on vacations and all that. And I asked these questions to people, like, if you had all of the money in the world, what would you do, right? And I asked this to a woman who I was working with, and she's like, she was single. She's like, oh my God, I would, I'd be a mom. I'd try to have a kid. And we did a lot of financial planning around that. We did looking at, all of the ways that you can get pregnant, right? IVF and some other things. And it didn't work for her. And we established a way to really plan her finances, cash in the stock options, start saving, start budgeting, and come up with a way on how she could earn money from her business to adopt. And we figured it out, and she was able to adopt a kid based on me asking that one question. And she was like, oh, there's no way it could happen. But what happens is we have so many money conversations in our head with ourselves, and we begin to hold ourselves back and limit what's actually possible.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So it's really just having conversations, asking good questions.
And then putting the money side, the money conversation aside. And now when I see her and her kid on Facebook, the kid is like 6 now, and she's so happy, and I'm like, that is true financial planning. But what I saw from there, Jenny, is that, there's only so much we can cut back in life. I mean, we can't, eat top ramen noodles and eat bread all day and just not get cable TV. And, we hear all about cutting back, right?
Right.
And that's important. But there's only so much you can cut back. Like, what, are you not going to buy food, not pay your utility bill?
Right.
So that's where I started asking business owners, like, what are your profits in your business? Like, how's your business angle going? And that's where I uncovered that that there's this big black hole around, business owners understanding that the success of their business is the engine to giving them a return on their life. And
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that is all I needed to see to realize, wow, there's not that many people offering money strategy to business owners. There's a lot of personal finance stuff, all that stuff. You hear Susie Orman and David Bach, and they're great. But where's the money strategy for someone's business? The bookkeepers, they're doing the data entry. The accountants, they're doing the tax returns. A lot of business coaches will hit on it, but they don't go deep to the extent that I would, because that's what I do. And from there, I've never looked back. It's just been amazing.
So what would be that process if someone was to come to you and say, Justin, I need a strategy for my business? Do you have some tips or some steps that you want to enlighten our Get Gutsy listeners with today?
Yeah. Before I start with these, Jenny, I metaphorically say, have a glass of wine with me. Because if you don't drink wine, I don't know, whatever.
Beer, I'll have sparkling water.
Yeah, beer, a cup of coffee, tea, whatever. But
have a drink, have a colder beverage or one that brings you pleasure. Okay.
Because what happens is, notice, now this is a little bit of the spirituality that I bring in, because I meditate and I like to be very aware of what I'm thinking, right? As I begin to give these points, what happens is your sense of overwhelm will creep in, and you're like, oh my God, I'm not doing any of this stuff. I got to do it. I suck. I'm terrible. I want to keep my head in the sand. But what I say is it's all good. Just if you could do one of these things, it's great. And, what got you here won't get you there, right? So just being aware of it. So the first tip has to do with tracking. Now, we all know we're supposed to track our money. Right. But it's like, where do you even start? And who's supposed to do it? And what numbers should you track? Right. So I believe that you shouldn't be tracking all of your money by yourself. Your bookkeeper can easily email you like 3 numbers, right? Your sales, your profits, and maybe just your cash. And you can just track that every week. That's at least a start. Money loves clarity, knowledge is power, all of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like when when you get on the scale, you don't want to get on the scale because you don't want to see how much you weigh. And if you don't get on the scale, it's not a problem.
right. I'll just avoid it. No, I don't.
Yeah. So tracking is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Love
really
that.
Big. Yeah. You want me to go on?
Yeah, for sure. Tracking, that's huge. And
tracking is big.
I'll tell y'all, I'm so glad you're sharing this, Justin. That's why I wanted to have you on, because honestly, the first few years of my business, I avoided this like the plague, because I was just like trying to get it off the ground. I'm doing my thing. I'm, quote, busy, but busy doesn't necessarily mean efficient or profitable, or that you're focusing on the right stuff. And the purpose of your business is to turn a profit. So it's so important for our listeners. We have a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, teachers, experts, authors, speakers, all kind of this little hodgepodge of helpers out in the world who are listening to this show. And you don't want to get mixed up thinking, well, my purpose is to go heal people and to help the world and empower and blah, blah. That's awesome. And your purpose can always be that. But the purpose of your business is absolutely to turn a profit. So it's important that we have these conversations.
Yeah, and then if you want to use that money to do something for your life, like build a backyard for your kid,
right?
Put your kid through college, like pay down debt, whatever. It's got to come from the business success. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. The second one is pricing. But the way that I think about pricing is, of course, you need to price your stuff for a profit and all of that. But I started to study a lot about pricing, more around the psychology of a buyer.
Right.
And how they actually buy your stuff and what decisions do they make and what are the conversations that they have when it comes to buying. So I love to talk about the actual display of your offer, how it compares to other offers, how the user actually sees it, and how you can increase conversions by just showing the numbers to your potential buyer in a way that's super clear.
Right.
Yeah, so that's big. And then my third... it's around investing in your business, but most people will think of it as wasting money. So you want to make sure that when you invest in your business, that the money's going to come back.
Right.
You want to think of it as an investment, not as an expense, although it is an expense. So I like to use this metric of like 3 times the rate of return. So if you get approached to do a trade show, to sponsor a networking breakfast, for let's just say, $200 to sponsor a networking breakfast. Well, do you think you could make $600 off it?
Okay.
And if you don't think you can, then you shouldn't do it. And just that one simple conversation.
That's such a great metric, 3 times the investment. Because, I can't tell you, Justin, how many times I have to kind of remind my tribe of this. You guys, running a business isn't free. Yes, you can get a lot of great free information online. And if you're unwilling to spend money / invest in your business, just pack it in. Pack it in now. You don't have to invest in everything. And there's going to be a lot of, quote, opportunities that come your way, and many of which you should say no to. I'd say the majority you're going to say no to, because at the beginning I tended to say yes to more things, but now I'm at a place where I am much more discerning. But it's always, when you're looking at, hey, if I was to invest whatever it is, I love that 3 times. Could I get 3 times back from my investment? And when you look at that and it's like, yes, absolutely. And it's typically from you doing the work from you. Sure, you can go invest in a trade show. Are you going to follow up on the leads? Are you going to show up and, and have a booth and be engaging and, have collateral materials and all that kind of stuff? And so that's where it seems like a lot of people, Justin, get tripped up, because then they realize, oh, wow, now I got to actually do this thing.
It's funny that but I totally agree with what you're saying. My brand strategist calls it the complicated cash flow dance.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Well, what it is like you make an investment or you spend some money in your business and it doesn't cash flow right away. Like the money doesn't come back. So now the money's tied up in this investment, and it's either on a credit card or your cash balances are lower. And now you get presented with another opportunity where if you had the money, you would have definitely done that one. And then all of a sudden, you don't have the cash to pay your vendors, your employees, your independent contractors, your bills. And you're like, geez, I totally made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. So it's really important to really think about tying the money up and understanding that cash flow is important. You need it. And if you don't think you can make 3 times your money, and I love the fact that you're bringing up saying no, because saying no brings up more opportunities where you can actually say yes.
Right.
And the best offense in business, the best way to really win in business is when you have money in the bank, you can turn down people, clients, whatever opportunities that really don't fit you.
Yeah.
And you're coming from a place of strength rather than a place of weakness.
And desperation. That is so crucial. How long, and just from your opinion, when you say making 3 times the investment, what's the time frame on that?
Ooh, great question, Jenny. I got it. Okay. So if you're a new business owner, or if you're really, if you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck, so to speak, the money needs to come back within 6 weeks.
Okay.
Because if like you got to put out the money and you're not going to make it for 6 months, it's going to hurt your cash flow, and it's too long to recoup that investment. If you're a seasoned business owner and you have profits every month, you need to know that you have profits. And if you have profits every month and you've been in business a while, you can go as long as a year. Now, a lot of business owners would go like 3 or 4 months.
Right.
Think of like something like hiring a PR firm, right?
Right.
There's no real ROI attached to that's going to come right away. You're basically just doing it and you're hoping for the best. Right. That's something where you got to have the profits and the cash flow to do it. But if you don't and you need to make that investment for a year and you're not sure when it's going to really hit, then it's probably not the right thing to do for you.
Thank you. That's very clear. So all of our listeners take that in. I love what you said, Justin, about that money in the bank, the cash. It does allow you to come from a place of power when saying no. I recently had a situation where, we said no to an opportunity. At first I was kind of excited to explore it, and then it became clear that it just wasn't a right fit. And that's something I teach I teach a lot of mostly women who want to become coaches, right? I have this coach certification school, and at the beginning, you're so excited. You want to help the world. You want to help like a blade of grass. You want to just with your thing. You're like, oh my God, I want to do this thing. But you have to get so good at asking yourself, is this opportunity? Is this something that actually I'm really excited about? Is this usually another person that you're going to be working with, or a client, a company? Are they going to respect me? There's so many people out there who won't show up. They're going to not really take care of their side of the street. And I did not do a great job of that starting out, because yes, the cash flow wasn't there. It's like the lack of cash flow mixed with pure excitement to be doing the thing that you finally found your calling in life. And so that's kind of like this potent combination. But you live and you learn and you realize, hey, I'm not desperate. I only want to work with ideal clients, ideal situations here that's going to allow me to operate at my highest level. That's going to also allow me to price to profit. You mentioned that too, right?
Yep.
Your tip number 2, you can't, I call a lot of my people out on this with love, saying, it's really great that you want to do that for whatever this price point is, but gosh, do you realize how many you're going to have to sell, at that amount to make like $1,000 a month? You think it's going to be easy, but I think what a lot of people don't realize at first, Justin, is like the conversion rates when you do anything, conversions of how many people need to see your stuff for you to sell X amount so that you can, feel great about the effort that you're putting into and what you're being able to get back in return. So, how did you learn this stuff? As
so funny,
was School of Hard Knocks? Like, how'd
yes,
you do
it? A lot of that. But I'm one of those guys that, like, I would say that I'm like, let's call it like average smart, like not brilliant. Like I'm not a brilliant person. What I do is I read and learn and get coached by people smarter than me. I mean, I spent a year with Brendan Burchard. I'm sure you know who he is.
Yep.
And this is my point number 4. He's like, Justin, you have to have a marketing campaign. And I'm like, what's a campaign? He's like, well, let me tell you, it's a series of content, like it's a series of stuff that you just put out there. I'm like, okay. Because I never thought of that, like, really campaigning different things. Kind of like a launch,
it's a launch. I mean, look what the political candidates are doing. Yeah. That's a campaign.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, I got this. Like, like one of the things I'm doing is I have a book coming out in October. So how the money aspect comes into this is, okay, well, if you're going to launch things or promote things or want to do stuff, that takes money, right? So you got to make an investment. How much, you have your current expenses, and then now you're going to bring on another layer of things you're going to do, whether it's hiring people to help you with, time or investing or spending your time. So you need to make sure that these launches or these campaigns cash flow. And that's my fourth point is that, I basically learned from Brendan that you have to have campaigns. I'm like, okay, I got that. But then I'm like, well, what about the money aspect of it, Justin? How am I going to plan? Well, I'm like, okay, my profits are X each month. I have this much money I can invest on top of whatever I'm already doing. Or if I don't, then that means I got to cut back some stuff. And I got to move the money from point A to point B and be like, okay, I need to do this. And that was a game changer for me.
I love that. Yeah. Learning, what you got to play with, moving money around. I'm flashing back to when I worked in corporate, Justin, and my first corporate job was in a public relations agency, and we had big clients, like Fortune 500 clients. And my last account that I worked on, at that point I was a senior account executive, and part of my job, which I remember when I didn't have that position, and I was like, oh, how great will it be when I'm at that level and I'll get to look at the bills every month. And so the bills would come in, and it was like you would see what was spent, and it was a lot of moving money around. I'm not going to lie. You're like, well, from this project, we had like a gazillion projects, and you're like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And it was just all like moving money. But I guess that's a lot of what this whole deal is. It's just moving money. Like, okay, I often feel like entrepreneurship is like, I honestly will envision myself at like a craps table. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm rolling the dice. I'm putting it all on, that number, and here we go. And I'm believing in it. I mean, it's not just a pure gamble. You do, like you say, you read and you learn from, and you're coached by people who are smarter than you. And so you accumulate this knowledge and this wisdom and practice, because you're out there and you're playing, right?
Yeah.
You're experimenting. But at some point you got to step up to the plate. You got to step up to the craps table, however you want to envision it, and you got to roll the freaking dice.
Totally.
You got to go for it, and you can't be attached to it. It has to work out exactly like this, because that's just not reality. If somebody won't play a baseball game unless they know for sure that they're going to score 6 runs and it's going to be this way, they're going to get the home. It's just not how it goes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's important that we have these conversations, especially for our newer entrepreneurs out there who are so freaking petrified to do anything.
Yeah. I want to bring in the mindset on 2 of these things. It comes back to money strategy, but the first thing is I think there's a study out there that says the top 3 fears that people have, and I don't know the order, is like dying, public speaking, and
public speaking's number 1.
Number 1, and then losing money. Like those are the 3. So what so many business owners think is that when they invest in their business, it's got to be like all of the money on black, like if you're at the craps table or roulette. But what I think that business owners need to do is take small and medium-sized risks all the time. I'm talking like $50, $100, $500, whatever that number is.
Yeah.
Just small, and then look and see if it works. And then if it works, then you can go big. And if it doesn't, you're out $100, you're out $50, whatever. You'll live.
I love that. And Facebook ads are great for that too. Just putting a little money on an ad. Have you experimented at all with Facebook ads in your business?
I have, and what I've learned is I should not be doing Facebook ads myself.
Yourself.
I'm sorry.
You need a team.
I mean, there's so much ninja Facebook money.
Total ninja. Yeah. That's literally like going to the craps table with your eyes closed and your hands behind your back. And if you do, because I made that mistake, I was like, oh, I can figure this out. I'm smart.
Forget it.
And I can set it up. I would tell my clients and students, I'm like, I knew enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be effective. So
it's crazy.
Earlier this year, I made a big, bold move, which was saying, hey, I made one of those investments like you said, and said, hey, could I get 3 times my money back? Not only for the ads, but for the team to do the ads because that's their thing. That's their expertise. Because all you entrepreneurs out there, you can't do everything. You can't know everything. You know, Justin's an expert on this financial piece, and he's learning like, hey, you need to have marketing campaigns, and he can become smart at that, but then bring people in to help you. Like if you want a Facebook ads team or someone to help you launch your book. So why don't you tell us more about your book? Because that's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, it's called Money, You Got This. And I love this book because it's all about, it's modeled off of, and I didn't even know I was doing it until it's pretty much over. It was modeled after Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh my God, so, I love those shows.
Those shows are about nothing. They're literally about funny life experiences that happen to all of us, but they're really about nothing. So I've taken my funny life experiences and my friends and clients and family and all that and basically turned them into money lessons.
Cool.
Like, I don't know, have you ever seen that movie, Something About Mary?
Yeah.
Okay, you know Magda, the 80-year-old lady with the tan?
Yeah, she was hilarious with the dog.
I'm convinced that I got hit on by Magda at a bar. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I wrote a whole money lesson around that. So it's called Money, You Got This. It's coming out in mid-October. It's the kind of book where you can pick it up at any page, read a few pages, get a takeaway, implement, and be like, okay, that's good for now.
That's awesome. So it's like very bite-sized bits, funny. Yes. And it sounds like you are demystifying the often intense vibe that money brings with it.
Yes.
Which I think is so cool. I mean, you said these top fears, public speaking, dying, and losing money. And so, we all come into adulthood with a lot of messages around money. Many of them are harmful messages. There are not helpful messages for us. And so you're just being like, you know what? Yeah, you've got this. Money, you've got this. I really like that.
Thank you.
So how can people find out more about the book, or how can they get their hands on it once it's out?
They could just go to my site, which is Krane, KRANE.com/book. And that'll give them all the info. They can also just go onto Amazon and type in money, you got this. And you can get it there.
Awesome. How hard was it to write the book, or how fun, or it just came? You said you didn't even realize you were doing it?
I did it over the course of 2 years. I wrote a lot of emails and blog posts, and I just kind of buttoned them up and made them real short, actionable chapters, and patched it all together and did some action guides and then got just some structure in place. But the content was pretty much done. I just tweaked it to make it more reader and user-friendly.
I love that. That's really smart.
Thank you.
I like how you laid out your process. That's helpful for our listeners, because many of whom want to write a book, or maybe they're in the process, or maybe they already have. I know. Is this your first book, Justin?
First full book, yes. But I've done like co-author stuff. But this is my first full book, and let me tell you, it's a beast.
It is, and you go and you're like, oh, this would be great, and it is, absolutely, and you won't have regrets on doing it. But there are many other things you could do that are easier.
Totally, like play craps.
Exactly. Exactly. But my book, it's called Get Gutsy. It led to this podcast. I didn't know it was going to lead to a podcast. It led to my coach training school. Awesome. It led to a book writing course that I created. It led to my kind of Holy Grail program, which is called Get Gutsy University, which is like the digital campus for all of the spiritual entrepreneurs out there who are, building businesses online. I didn't know. I just knew I had to get that freaking book out there. Like it doesn't leave you alone. And it sounds, for you, a few years, me too. It took me several years to go from idea to reality, like holding it in my hands. And I'm really excited for you, Justin. So why don't we talk about, got a few minutes left here, but this show is all about kind of examining that intersection between business and spirituality. You work with money, which can feel like a loaded subject to some people. What is your spiritual practice? How do you stay grounded when things get a little wonky in your business, when, cash flow might not be where you want it to be, or you have some clients who are like freaking out or whatever? Yeah. Where do you turn to kind of just remain in faith?
Meditation. Meditation. And the meditation that I do is like meditation for dummies.
So, tell us about it.
It's from Holosync or Center Point, CENTER point POINTE, and it's where you just listen to like brainwaves, right? And it's like alpha, delta, and theta. And it's not guided where you like, relax your feet, relax your knees. It's not one of those because my mind would never be able to listen to that. So, and I've been doing it for probably 12 years now. And the first year or two, I was very, very resistant to it and got very, very agitated, and it just consumed me. But once you become aware and watch yourself freaking out when you're trying to meditate, you'll let down and you'll let your guard down and it'll be better. So for me, it's meditation, clearing my mind. I do it at least 4 times a week, between 30 and 60 minutes. And then I like to run maybe 20, 25 minutes every few days.
How can, if someone wants to find out more about that type of meditation, where can they find out more? Because that sounds really cool.
I think it's centerpoint.com. And you literally just put on the headphones and you just, you buy the tracks.
Okay.
And you don't have to do anything. It's not like obviously you got to close your eyes and all that. You can't listen to it when you're driving. But the whole point is like, let's see if it's centerpoint.com. Well, maybe you can put it in the show notes. I'll give you the link. But
that'd be awesome.
It's for people that it's for the people that say, I could never meditate. Like I could never sit still. It's for those people.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you for that tip.
Sure.
I think meditation is absolutely a game changer. And I know that many of our listeners, as a result of having Get Gutsy as part of their lives, and so many of our guests have said meditation. And you look at some of these top, leaders in the world, like Russell Simmons and Oprah and Deepak Chopra, and they all meditate. And it's not just some like little trendy thing. Like it works. It's a vacation for your mind. It's like letting your mind go to the spa for a little bit and just kind of be, and it's like this, it's like taking a shower for your, I mean, there's so many ways that you can describe it. I know when I went through my yoga teacher training, that's where I really immersed myself in the power of meditation. And it's even me being a trained yoga teacher. I don't teach asana. I very much teach the philosophy of yoga through everything that I do, how I live. But even me, I will sometimes forget, things you're like, oh, I got so much going on. Like I can't sit for a moment, but you can. And what I've discovered, Justin, too, is that there's, movement meditations. When I'm going out now and I'm hiking, I started doing that. I live in this area called the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts. It's great. So I'm going hiking, or if I'm in a yoga class, or I'm just out and I'm just looking outside. Like literally today, I was sitting outside having this meal and sitting in an outside cafe, and I just the sky was so gorgeous, and the clouds are out, and there was these birds just flying, and I'm noticing the birds, and that's what I think meditation allows you to do. You notice things.
Yes.
You notice the world more. You can appreciate these moments, and many of these moments are free, and so you're not always wanting to like grasp and consume and I need this and this and this. I mean, it's fun to have that piece of your life as well, and to have the money to be able to do the things that you want to do, as Justin believes in as well. But when you can slow down and just frickin' appreciate that you're alive, and then there's a sky to look at and a body to live in, that's really, really rad. So Justin, this has been amazing. So the best place for them to go find you is go to your jkrane.com/book.
That's for the book. But just for me, like if you're like, hey, like I kind of get what he's saying, I want to learn more, just go to my site. There's lots of stuff there, jkrane.com. And I wanted to add one quick thing and just to slide it in. We were getting back to the marketing campaign thing.
Yeah.
I think that the mindset part of that is about being intentional about what you want to do in business and viewing yourself as important, worthy, and deserving to be successful. And if you're intentional about what you're going to do and put yourself first, rather than serving everyone else, like I've been there, and I've seen other women business owners do it as well, where you're helping everyone else, but you're not putting yourself first. Be intentional with your marketing. Make yourself a priority. Make your business a priority, and you'll see the results come.
Yeah. It's so true. You have to make your business a priority, especially, again, in the majority of our listeners, Justin, are women, although we've got some awesome men who are listening as well. And so for a lot of women, it's like giving themselves permission to have this dream. And in fact, to stop asking permission from the other people in their lives. Like I've had to have this conversation with some of my female clients when they'll like say, oh, I need to go, talk to my husband about this if they're married or have a partner. And I can tell from their energy they're asking permission.
Yeah.
I go, is this your husband or is he your dad?
Yeah.
I mean, I just straight up say that.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're right. And it's how you position it. Like when you come in with confidence, think about when anybody comes to you, if they're like, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of scared and I don't know. And blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh my God, like, are you about to make a mistake or what? Yeah. But when someone comes to you and said, listen, here's what's going on. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to be part of this course. I'm going to be part of this event. Here's what's going to, I'm going to learn. I'm going to apply it immediately. I'm going to get that 3 times return on investment in the next few weeks or the next couple months. And I'm just thrilled. This is what I've been looking for months, and it's here and we're doing it. Right? Mm-hmm. Like what's the difference in that energy? It's very, very clear.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's how you position yourself and view things.
Exactly. So Justin, thank you so much for being here. What social media platforms are you most active on?
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah. I mean, I'm on there. I have got 2 business pages.
Okay.
My personal. But yeah, that's where I am.
Okay, cool. So people go check out Justin Krane. Justin, thanks for being one of our few good men on Get Gutsy. Big honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Big honor. And everybody out there listening, think about what you're going to do to look at your money in a new way, to think about investing in a new way, to think about pricing in a new way, and to think about making your business a priority in a new way. This is it. This is your time. Go check out Justin's book, Money. You've got this. And guess what, dear listener in the Get Gutsy Galaxy? You've got this too. This is Jenny Fenig. Justin, did I ask you your gutsiest move you've ever made?
No.
Oh my God. This could have been revolutionary. We gotta backtrack.
Are we live still?
God.
Are we still good?
We're still alive.
All right.
Okay.
My gutsiest move was turning down $1 million cash to go to another firm versus starting my own business when I was 30.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we talked about this. Okay, so you turned down $1 million cash.
Yep.
Because another firm was trying to recruit you.
Yep.
Whoa.
To go start my own firm. That's how much I believed in running my own business, not having people tell me what to do, and putting the client first and serving. Really. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh my! I had this feeling. I was like, "Wait a second, we're missing something. We're missing something right now." After we have Justin's episode, I'm hopping onto a webinar, so I was like moving into webinar mode. But I knew I was like, something is. I don't feel complete, and I knew that you were going to drop a bomb there. Wow! You turned out. Think of $1 million because you knew, Justin, that your path was taking you elsewhere, and you wanted to serve in that way. And I commend you for that. Really, I actually had a meeting with some financial planners recently, some local ones in our area, and they made it very clear too. Yeah, like when you're independent like that, you get to make your own rules, and you get to treat your clients as people and not as commodities, not as, well, I need to fit you into this box because we have these products that we need to sell you, and just go over there. So congratulations, Justin.
Thank you.
That's freaking rad.
Yeah,
no wonder you're a gutsy guy. Oh my God.
I know.
Oh, everybody, this guy, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. All right, okay, for real this time, I'm going to be signing off. Justin, thank you so much for being here. All you listeners, thank you for being here. Go out and do something extraordinary with your gifts today. What are you willing to walk away from to follow your dream, to follow that call that you have inside of yourself, to be independent, to serve at the highest level, to have a book come out, to fall in love with your money, to allow that money to work for you? I mean, this is it. For real this time. This is Jenny Fenig sending you so much love, light, and faith as you get gutsy. I'll see you next time.
Hey, this is John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and you're listening to Get Gutsy with Jenny Fenig. Gutsy leaders unite and ignite.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Get Gutsy as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. Are you responsible for leading and growing your spiritual business? If so, I have a free tool for you that will help you spread your message like wildfire. It's called the Sacred Marketing Puzzle, and it's a one-page PDF guide that simplifies the often mysterious and confusing world of marketing. When you use sacred marketing tools to amplify your message, you'll provide huge value to your tribe and grow your business. What are you waiting for? Go to jennyfennig.com/puzzle to get yours instantly. That's jennyfennig.com/puzzle. Gutsy leaders, unite.